This is David Guyton's Gauntlet number 2 in paper without accents. I chose not to do the accents on the paper just because it seemed unnecessary when I'm just trying to make my actual prototype before I actually make the metal gauntlet. Now, as you can see, good flexibility even with paper, nice design, everything. But the reason why I'm making this video is to really stress the importance of making the paper one before you make the metal one. Mr. Guyton actually says it in his video that you should make a paper one, and you know, it's true. I learned a lot from making this. This is actually Mark III of the prototypes. The first one ripped because I used basic winter gloves out of cotton, and the second one was the same. It didn't rip. However, these finger joints actually didn't line up like this one, like that. Like they didn't actually line up in a straight line, and as weird as that is, that bothered me. Now, there are certain things with paper that you have to realize. You know, paper doesn't stay in its shape as well as you want it to, so when I move the fingers, sometimes they rub together. I gotta kind of straighten them. I really just bent the crap out of them, and they seem to work pretty well. Obviously, the glove works well. The type of glove I actually bought was this men's Gorilla Grip. I bought it large. It's I think it was like $2.97 at Walmart. You can basically use any glove you want. Just this one actually had this leather grip, and it was so cheap I couldn't pass it up. Some things that I actually learned about it by making the paper one that I'm going to change when I make the metal out of steel is this area right here in the hand. Obviously the knuckle plate right here doesn't extend onto my actual arm, leaving it unprotected. I also did not make the buckle because that seemed unnecessary as well. But I actually tried to modify his design thinking my hand was smaller, but I actually have the exact same size hand that he measures in another video. So it works out for me. But no, it's got good movement, you know. Everything's good on it. It bends, all the parts move. I can actually grab things, it's good. But I'll just show you the other things that I used. I just used a basic measuring tool. This one was just a straight edge. It's got the ruler on the inside. This was actually an original gauntlet piece that I made before I looked at David Guyton's. And that was just, I was looking at it trying to make my own gauntlet, and then I decided that it was worth the $4.99 currently to buy his design. Plus it just looked way more spiffy, and I would have to figure everything out up here on the vambrace, the wrist, the hand. It was just not necessary. So I just went ahead and bought it. Besides that, I just used the basic tools. I actually recorded measurements so that I can make sure to create that again with the metal. You know, I have how long my thumb, my joints are from knuckle to fingertip. The dots all correspond to where the actual joints need to be placed. You all see it if you buy the guide. You'll see all the different joints. I don't actually want to show the design on YouTube because I don't want David Guyton coming after me. Plus, I respect the man and I thank him for actually giving me the design and letting us actually buy it. So I want to pay my respect in that sense. I use this mouse pad just because I was using thumbtacks to keep it all together. Some people actually use those like golden tacks where the ends bend. That was too thick for me, too large. Because as you're putting the glove on, you hit all the tacks. I actually had problems with that. I'd hit the tacks with my knuckles or just a piece of skin, and it would rip out, and I had to go back and redo it. And as you can see, I have them all bent over to the sides. Especially with this one, I have it bent on the vambrace. I have it bent one direction and the other, one in one direction and one in the other. And then this one is bent in another direction away from them, so that when I put my hand in it, it pulls away from each other and keeps it in place. I actually would put the buckle on. I'll just put a piece of string just so that I have it after it's completed, but I'm not going to really do like that real important buckle until I make the steel one. But besides that, I just used these tacks to keep all of the stuff together, all the paper on the vambrace, or on the gauntlet. I used this to punch the holes with that so that I didn't hurt myself, because that's actually important. I stabbed myself one time, which was frustrating. I just used a basic Sharpie. I used this color because it seemed to blend in a little bit with the glove, like you can see right there, it marked, same color tone, everything's perfect with it. That's the copper Sharpie. Tape was actually used for reinforcement on some joints if something ripped, and on all these little pieces in here that you have to use, that I used index cards instead of the leather pieces that he suggests in the video. I'm going to use leather for the actual gauntlet, but for this one I just used the paper. You actually need to use tape to reinforce it because it holds so much pressure and weight. And then I just use basic pliers to actually bend it, like you can see in the glove, to bend the thumbtack sideways. I actually picked up these at Walmart as well. They're white on the side, so if I have some underneath here, you can't see them as well. You know, you can notice it's there when I go real in, but from a distance, you don't even notice them. But if I were to put accents on this, I honestly would just grab that same Sharpie, color it in. It's not really worth cutting them out and doing all the thumbtacks. But this actually took me about, I want to say 5 hours to do, just because I had to do modifications, and it was actually just the work. David Guyton says that he works for like 10 days at a time for hours on those days in one of his comments, so I'm expecting a lot of work ahead of me on the metal gauntlet, but you know, we'll see as it goes. But just gonna post this response video, and actually, if you want to see the real gauntlet tutorial, that's his actual tutorial on YouTube, I advise checking it out. You can just search how to make a gauntlet version 2, or you can just Google search David Guyton, and or YouTube search him, and it's gonna do the same thing. You're gonna get that tutorial. You'll actually get his first one too if you want to try that. But as you can see, also I have my motor skills. Everything's in fine. You know, I can do each finger one by one. It all works. Thumb. You know, it's actually really comfortable too. Surprisingly, I wasn't expecting it to be so comfortable, but it really is. It's awesome. But just making this video to stress, make the glove, the gauntlet, in paper first, because you really learn a lot. If you really want to make a piece of art, you need to do this first, because you learn so much just from making this. It's unbelievable. Thanks for watching. Papa Torrehn out.